Hello guys, welcome to Roman Expert channel. So in today's session, we're going to discuss an important AWS services IAM. Okay. So the agenda for today is why do we need access management? What is IAM? The components of IAM, multi-factor authentication, and hands-on experience with small demo. Okay. So before we start IAM, let me discuss about AWS account root user. So when we create an AWS account, you create an account as a root user identity, which is used to sign into AWS. You can sign to the AWS management console by entering your email address and the password. The combination of email address and password is known as root user credentials. When you sign into the AWS account as a root user, you have unrestricted access to all the resources in AWS account. And also with the help of root user, you can access the billing information as well as can change the passwords also. Okay, so this is about the root user. But in my scenario, okay, the organization, there are a lot of development teams, production teams, a lot of team, server team, networking will be there, right? So we don't want to give them full access to enter AWS account. Based upon their designation, based upon their level, we have to segregate the level of access. So in these scenarios, right, AWS have provided a solution called IAM. So the full form of the stands for IAM is Identity Access Management. Okay, so it allows you to manage users and their level of access to the AWS console. Okay, let's discuss about what is IAM. IAM enables you to manage access to AWS services and resources in a very secure manner. With IAM, you can create groups and allows those users or groups to access some servers, or you can deny them access to the services. So if let us assume that we have the server team, we have the network team. Okay, the network team should access only the VP network components, right? That can be accomplished with the help of IAM. And if the network team is trying to access the servers or any other services within the AWS account, that will be denied. So this kind of scenarios, right, this kind of situations we can handle with the help of IAM. Now we're going to discuss about the features of IAM. The first feature is centralized control of your AWS account. So that means you can control the creation, the rotation, and cancellation of every user's security credentials. You can also control what data in the AWS system users can access and how they can access. So this is a great feature is providing by IAM. And the second feature is shared access to your AWS account. Okay, users can share the resources for the collaborative projects. And the granular permission, this is very important, guys, just keep in mind. So it is used to set a permissions that user can use a particular service but not other services, right? We can apply, as I mentioned, that we have the two teams, let us call as network team and server team. We can apply the granular permissions for network team and for server team. If server team want to access only the compute services, then we can apply the granular permissions. If network team want to access only network components, we can use granular permission for the groups. Okay, and next one is identity federation. So this is very important. And what is meant by identity federation? First of all, an identity federation means that we can use Active Directory, LDAP, or Facebook or LinkedIn, etc. with IAM. Users can log into AWS console with same username and password as we log in with the Active Directory, Facebook, etc. The same kind of username passwords can be used in order to log in with the with the AWS accounts. So for this one, we don't need to create separate username password. The same username passwords can be used enter AWS accounts. So this is the beauty of IAM. Okay, and next one is multi-factor authentication. Okay, as an AWS provides multi-factor authentication, as we need to enter the username passwords and security check code to log into the AWS management console. So if you see here, I'm navigating to AWS management console. Okay, if you see here, initially I'm providing Okay, root user, if you see here, there is two options. As I said, the first one is root user. Account owner that performs tasks requiring unrestricted access. Okay, if you want unrestricted access, we can use with the help of root user. So he is the user can no destroy the account or create the account or whatever he can do that. Okay, so since I'm the owner of this account, I'm just trying to create. I'm just now log into the account using AWS. So if you see here, right, as I said that in the multi-factor authentications provide the security check. This is the security check is given by the AWS. So AWP provide D4. I'm just navigating, just entering. Now I'm providing my actual credentials. So now it will be authenticated and it will be navigated into the AWS dashboard. So this is about authentication, multi-factor authentications. And we can also, with the help of IAM, right, we can integrate with many different AWS services, and it also supports PCI DSS compliance for it's for compliance purposes. And the last feature is free to use. What is free to use exactly? IAM is a feature of AWS account, right, which is offered at no additional charge. You will be charged only when you access other AWS services by using IAM user. So this is about features of IAM. Now we're going to discuss the components and identities of IAM. Okay. So before we start the component, right, I want to navigate to the IAM. Okay. I just log into my AWS account. I'm navigating to IAM. You see, right, identity access management. I'm navigating to the IAM. Okay. And here I can see that four components, very important components of four components. First one, user groups, users, roles, and policies. So these are the four components are very, very important. Okay, to permit the permissions to the groups or the users. Okay, based upon these four components, we can apply the level 1 or level 2 or level 3. Whatever the permissions you want it, you can provide them. So now we're going to discuss about the components identities of IAM. First one is users. What is user? Okay, an IAM user is an entity created in AWS. Okay, it's already created an entity in AWS. Okay, that provides a way to interact with the AWS resources. Okay, the main purpose of IAM user is that they can sign into AWS management console and they can make requests to any AWS services. Okay, with the help of user. For example, if I want to allow only the access to the EC2 with the help of the particular user, then we can apply, we can create the user and we can apply the permissions to the particular user using IAM. So this is the beauty of using IAM. Okay, and the second thing is groups. Group specifies the permissions, okay, for a collection of users, and it also makes it possible to manage the permissions easily for those users. Okay, for example, I create a group called development team. Okay, so in the development team I have 4 members already and I applied the same level of permissions to them. Okay, if a new user joins the organization and he joins the development team, then he should have the administrative privilege, the same privilege which have the 4 members, right? And so that you can assign the same appropriate permissions by adding him into this particular group. So that what happens, the old employees who is working on the project, right, what are the permissions they have it, the same permissions will be applied to the new employee, new joining. Okay, and the second thing is, if a person changes his job profile, instead of editing his permissions, you can remove him from this group and add him to the other groups. So this is the beauty of groups. Okay, now we're going to discuss about what is IAM roles. Okay, so IAM user is similar to an IAM role. Okay, what is meant by role? A role is also an AWS identity with permissions, policies that determine with what the identity can and cannot do in AWS. Okay, in which situations we can use the roles, right? So sometimes you want to grant the users to access the AWS resources in your AWS account. or in sometimes you want to grant the users to access the AWS resources in another AWS account. In these scenarios, you can use the roles, or else we have one more situation called in it is used to grant access to the AWS resources, okay, to the third party so that they can perform an audit on AWS resources. In these three situations, we can use the roles. Okay, if you see here, a role is set of permissions that grant access to actions and resources in AWS. These permissions are addressed to the role, not to the IAM user or a group. Okay. A role doesn't have long-term security credentials, passwords, or security key. Instead of, if the user uses a role, temporarily security credentials are created and provided to the user. So at the particular amount of time, they can log in with this role into the AWS account, and they can perform their actions, and they will come out from the actions. Okay. So this is about roles. The last important IAM component is policies. Okay. So what is policy? A policy is an object in AWS that defines permissions. Okay. Here we can apply the read access or write access to the particular service. Everything can be defined using these policies. Okay. So the policy would contain the following information: who can access it, what actions that user can take, which AWS resources that user can access, when they can access it, and in JSON format that would looks like this. Okay. That will be anyway that will be shown in the next slide. Okay. So now we're going to do some hands-on experience using some scenario. Okay, the scenario is, one of the user who joined in the organization, his role is to, okay, access only, his role is to work only on the S3 buckets. Okay, so that as an administrator, what I will do, I will provide access only to the S3, and rest of the services will be rejected even if it tries to access to other services. So that is the scenario we're going to do it with the hands-on experience. Okay, my requirement here is I want to permit user name Harinath. I want to permit user name to AWS account, and he should be accessible only S3. If he tries to access other services, it should deny. So this is my requirement. Okay. In order to accomplish this, I'm going to use a service called IAM. Okay. So for that one, first step is I want to create the username users. Okay. So after creation of the user, I will attach the S3 policy to the user, and let us test that. Create user, attach the S3 policy to the user, right? So now I'm get into the AWS console, and I'm trying to create user. Okay, so add user. So first let us click on add user. Here I'm just keeping as Harinath. Okay, I'm providing programmatic access and AWS console management access. Either he can log in with this through CLI, okay, or with the web access. So in these cases, I'm looking only for AWS management console access, web access. Okay, and I'm just providing custom password called I'm just doing a custom password, and it doesn't require password reset. No, I'm just unchecking that, and I'm going to next. So here, if you see, right, I'm applying the permissions to the user. So I want to attach existing policies directly. So I'm just navigating here. So by default, AWS provides some permissions automatically, right? Here I'm just looking for S3. Here I'm selecting only S3 full access. Okay, I'm just selecting only S3 full access, and I'm going to tags. This is optional part, and I'm going to next. Okay, and applying. I'm just creating the user. In the manager policy, I just applied only Amazon S3 full access. Okay, so I don't want this. I'm just ignoring this. Okay, now I will log out from this account. I will try to log in with IAM user. Sign into the AWS access with the help of IAM. Okay, for that one I need to grab the account details, right? So let me sign in again, the root user. MTM3. IAM. I created two users, right? I'm just starting the user. So this is the URL. Okay, I'm just gripping this one, and now I'm trying to navigate to the IAM. Okay, so IAM is Rinath and applying with credentials. Right. So now I logged in with the Hanath user. Okay. See, even I'm trying to navigate to the IAM, it's giving I don't have access to view the IAM. So my requirement here is I want to access only S3, right? So that is my requirement. So for that one, I just applied the S3 permissions to the particular Hanath user. Okay. So I'll navigate to the S3. Let's see. I'm able to view the S3 or not. Right. I'm able to view the S3, and even I can even I can upload, I can perform some actions in the S3. For example, if I'm navigate to the EC2, okay, let's see whether I have the access or not. You're not authorized to perform this operation, right? It is throwing an error. So says that I don't have permissions to view or to create to perform some actions in other services apart from S3. So that's it, guys, for on S3. Let me navigate to S3. Let's see. I think if you have any questions or anything, right, please comment on that. Definitely I'll check it and I'll get back to you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for this.